Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about tenancy agreements. Now, you might think of them as just paperwork, right? But really, they're your legal shield. We're going to break down how to build that shield, step by step, to make sure your investment is actually protected.
Because let's be honest, renting out a property, it's filled with risk. And it's so easy to think you're covered. But a tiny mistake, one missed document, a clause that isn't quite right, and bam, you're left completely exposed, usually at the worst possible moment.
So, this isn't about just ticking boxes on a checklist. No, we are going to build your legal shield, piece by piece. The goal here is to create something really solid, an agreement that doesn't just protect you, but protects your tenant too. That's how you build a strong tenancy.
Okay, let's dive right in. The very first layer of the shield, it's the foundation. And we're talking about five non-negotiable documents that you absolutely have to provide at the very start of any tenancy in England.
That's right, 5. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But this number is absolutely critical. I mean, if you miss just one of these, guess what? That Section 21 eviction notice you might need to serve? It's invalid, completely useless. Your hands are tied when you need to get your property back. So yeah, 5 is the magic number.
So, what are these 5 essentials? Well, they're the absolute basics. First, the government's official How to Rent Guide, and you've got to make sure it's the latest version. Then you've got your safety cert, the gas safety certificate, and the electrical report, or EICR. Next up, the energy performance certificate, the EPC. And it's not just a piece of paper, it has to have at least an E rating. And last but not least, proof that you've protected their deposit in one of the government-backed schemes. These are the fundamentals. You get these right every single time. All right, so once you've got that foundation of documents sorted, it's time to forge the heart of the shield, and that is the tenancy agreement itself. This is the document where you lay down the rules of the game, nice and clear for everyone.
So what needs to be in there? Well, the bare minimum includes the obvious stuff, right? The rent amount, when it's due, and how long the tenancy is for. But you also need really clear rules on who is actually allowed to live in the property. And it's super important to have clauses that say no subletting, and spell out who's responsible for what, like waste disposal. You might not think about that, but in some areas like Hounslow, for example, they have really strict local rules on it.
Okay, now for a pro tip. Think of this as a specialist upgrade for your shield. This is where one single, carefully worded clause can be a total game changer. I'm talking about something that can protect you from the incredibly complex and very costly world of HMO licensing. So what's the secret? It all comes down to a legal definition in the Housing Act of 2004. See, a single household isn't just, a couple with their kids. The definition is way broader. It can include aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, all living together. And why does this matter? Because understanding this distinction is everything. It's literally what determines whether your property needs an HMO license or not.
And here's the tool to do it. You put a clause, just like this one, directly into the tenancy agreement. This gets the tenants to actually confirm in writing that they are a single household. It's a powerful statement that locks in their status right from the get-go.
And this is where you can really see the difference it makes. Look, for a standard rental to one person or a couple, you probably don't need to worry about this. But what if you're renting to a group of relatives, maybe 2 brothers and their cousin? All of a sudden, this clause changes everything. Creating one single joint tenancy that includes this declaration becomes your #1 defense against accidentally and illegally running an unlicensed HMO.
So building a strong shield isn't just about what's happening right now. You've got to be thinking about the future, right? To make sure your protection actually lasts, you need to be on top of some pretty big changes that are coming to tenancy law here in the UK.
Okay, so here's the big one. The fixed-term tenancy. The standard 6 or 12-month agreement. It's being phased out. Yep, the government is pushing everything towards a new system. From May 2026, all tenancy agreements are set to become periodic, basically rolling contracts. This is a massive shift in how tenancies are going to work, so you really need to be aware of it.
And here's another thing to keep on your radar. There's a lot of talk about a central digital database. The idea is that landlords might soon have to upload all their safety certs, gas, electrical, the whole lot, to a government portal. This would make tracking compliance totally digital and pretty much instant.
So, let's pull all of this together. Here it is, your complete compliance shield. You start with that foundation of essential paperwork, the How to Rent Guide, all your safety records, the deposit protection info. Then you've got your on-site stuff, like making sure your contact details are displayed and tenants know about waste collection. And the glue holding it all together? a rock-solid tenancy agreement, especially with that crucial single household clause. This right here, this is your blueprint for being a protected landlord.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. Your paperwork can be perfect, your legal shield can be completely built, but is your property? Because having a perfect agreement is absolutely the foundation, but that's what it is, a foundation. Is the property itself safe? Is it well maintained? Is it a place you'd actually be happy for someone to call home? Because at the end of the day, that's what a great tenancy is really all about.